One. Hello, Mark. I always have to adjust my camera at the beginning. Never stays how I left it. I don't like that part. Okay. I know you guys told me you wanted to see a black canvas. I remembered like 5 minutes ago, so please don't come at me. I'll try to remember for next video. Okay. Let me. Okay. We have a liquid white on my canvas. It's a pre-stretched double prime canvas, 16 by 20 inches. I think that's all you gotta know. Um, yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna take my 2-inch brush into a little bit of the phthalo blue, very little, very little, and then a little bit in alizarin crimson, very little as well. A little mixture of both. Let's come up here and just lightly dance in a sky. How are we doing on this Friday afternoon? It's always nice to hear and talk back to uh, followers. How are you doing? Okay, just a little bit here. Phthalo blue, alizarin crimson. There. And just go across ever so lightly to remove those brush strokes. Up and down if you like. But I like side to side. I think it's easier compared to other versions. Okay, so let's go ahead. It's out in the cloud. I'm gonna use my 1 inch. I put a little tape so I know where to look. So I'm looking at the camera. But let's see if that works. Okay, just using the corner and a little bit of liquid white. There. Just a little cloud that lives somewhere here. Maybe we just see the base of it. I mean, maybe the base is like some shadows, and maybe we just see, like, if we're looking under to the top. Okay, you can add more paint if you like, but I want to keep it light here. That way, it looks like more brighter on the top than at the bottom. Okay, ever so lightly, just lightly tap it, lightly. Lift up, go across, just like so. You got yourself a nice little sky. All right, do we got any comments? No? Okay, we're good. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's put in some distant trees. How does that sound? I'm gonna go into a little bit of ivory black and some sap green. Just a mixture of the both. Maybe a little bit of cadmium yellow. Just to lighten it up. Okay? And all I'm going to do is just block in the basics. I'm just going up and down. I'm not tapping down. I don't really care too much about this. I feel like it's gonna be in the distant, so I don't really care too much for it. just slightly. We can make these more wide, more thin, however you like. I actually have a person here that's here to read the comments off for me to make it a bit easier for me. Lift up lightly. You can go across and just do the same thing for the whole painting. It's up to you if you guys want a look of distant trees. I think it would look good on here. There, just like so. You can pull down a bit. My favorite thing to do is after I got that base color in, I just pull with the 2-inch brush down, pull up lightly, and then go across. Diffuse it, make it nice and soft. Nothing crazy. Okay. So now I'm gonna stand on this side. So now I'm going to let's add some distant trees that you can still kind of see. Hold on, my person is asking me for help. I gotta show them how to do it. Okay. So I'm just gonna go into some black and a little bit of sap green, more darker colors, just like so. Now, your brush has to be full of paint, as you can see here. Now, let's come up here. Let's decide where you want your trees to be at. So, I'm just scratching it in with the end of the handle. So maybe one here, need a small one there. You can decide. It's all up to you. Just tap down a bit. Let me pick up some more green. That's too black. Then it's just pure dark and no contrast. You want some contrast? It's actually better not to use complete black. Mix it up with another color. I used to do pure black, but now it's just if I do pure black, it shows up too much and there's too much of a contrast. So uh, I'd prefer not to. What about those faraway white roofs? Top. Well, I think the trees are like so distant. You just see like a little bit, and they're very light, very delicate. I don't want to put too much effort in those trees. Right here, we'll see more details going into those trees. But if anything, we could always come back and decide to we can decide to add in more stuff, and that's okay. But in your painting, if you want to add in those stuff, go ahead. Feel free. Don't feel like you have to do it exactly like mine. Lots of artists tell you they're just teaching you the style. They're not teaching you what to paint. And it's true. I'm not here to tell you what to paint, but rather how to paint it. And you can go ahead and do it however you like. Because I'll tell you this, when people told me how to paint and what to paint, I wasn't the most happiest. So I don't want that for you guys. I want you guys to decide what to paint. Oh, I remembered you guys wanted a nebula type painting. I'll get to that pretty soon. I just been so busy. I haven't had the the proper amount of time to film or prepare a canvas by putting gesso and all that. It's just go, go, go. So a little dark sienna, a little bit of white. If you want, you can add a little touch of cadmium yellow. I'm gonna add a little tree trunk, just a little. Maybe you would see something small. Now, let's go ahead and I'm going to go into cadmium yellow. Cadmium yellow, since my brush is polluted, it turns into a bright green color. And that's what I want for this. And just, you have to decide where the light's coming. I think it's coming from this way. So my highlights are going to be on my right side. But if you want your if you want your light source to be on the left side, then you draw your highlights on the left side. It's all up where you want your lighting to be. All right, let me finish this up and I'll check the comment. Okay. And just do the same thing for all the other trees. You can't just do it for some, you have to do it for all of them. No? But it would get darker towards the base because the light's kind of covering it, and you have to be able to know where the brightest points and the darkest points would be. Okay? So just here and there, dance in a few little critters. Maybe a squirrel would live right there. Who knows? Now, the water would be a reflection of the sky. So I'm gonna go into some phthalo blue, just straight phthalo blue, with a mixture of a little touch of crimson. I don't want much. Now, let's go ahead. Just start from the outside and pull in. Okay? There we go. Just a nice color mixture you'll like. Doesn't have to be something everyone likes. Just pull from the outside to in. But make sure you blend it. So come and very lightly just come together and blend this out. And if I decide I don't want no water, all I do is just cover it up with some dark paint and it could be some land in there. So let me go ahead. I drew a tree here, here, and I believe one over there. So gotta fill those in. Some ivory black, sap green, just a mixture of the two. But remember, your brush has to have a lot of paint in there. It requires lots of paint to do this. Let me zoom in a bit. There. Now, I just tap it to do a little line, and I just kind of drag it down very lightly, because if you put pressure, then that line's gonna get thicker. You don't want that line to be thick. So then just slant your brush downwards if you want the leaves to be down, and just go side to side. This is something that's better when it's done quickly. Okay, that one wasn't my best, but Doesn't matter. Some trees are a bit more funky than others. So you could just say you did it on purpose. Of course, you guys know I didn't, but you can make up those little stories when people see your paintings. Just say, "Hey, it was um it was done on purpose. That tree was a bit wide." Or whatever. Just make up any little thing. They'll believe it. So how you guys doing? How are you guys doing this Friday? Let's put one there. Just loading in some dark color. Okay, I'm gonna have to be going back and forth, because the person who was supposed to read my comments for me has to leave real quick. I don't know if they're coming back, but I'll just read the comments off. It was fun while it lasted. There, just kind of deciding where some land would go. Something along here, just the basics. We're not focusing too much on detail right now. Okay, load up quite the paint on your brush. That's the only thing I don't like from wet on wet style painting, is it requires so much paint. Now, here's a little trick for you guys. It's up to you if you want to use it. When I'm painting trees on the corner, I like to lay my hand on the side of the canvas and just go down from there. And once you get the hang of it, you can do it pretty quickly without the help of anything. Just freestyle. Up to you though. Okay? So, there we go. There. Something like so. My audio is good, right? Just to make sure. Maybe something right here. Here maybe. Something like so. Just something basic. Maybe it comes out a bit. Maybe it would come out to there. I'm just blocking in. Right now, I don't really care. Okay, let me check the live chat. Okay, nothing new so far. Okay, so just block it in. Blocking it. Okay, just scrub it on. Got some paint on there. Paint flakes or whatever you want to call it. Just take those off real quick. It's pretty easy. Just block in. Okay? So just going just a little bit. I actually want to add a little bit more sap green to this side. Just a little bit. Okay? Just here and there. Wherever you think that sap green would be useful. Something like so. Do we got anything new? Let's see. 20 minutes already. Shoot. Okay, I'm gonna go into more cadmium yellow. Same dirty brush. You can get away with using the same brush for quite some time. Just touch. All I want is the basic tree trunk. That's all I'm looking for. There we go. And let's come up here. Let's highlight. That tree trunk gets hidden with the highlights for the most part. You'll still see a little bit, but for the most part, it gets hidden. Okay, just and with the highlights, you can adjust your painting if your tree didn't come out the best, say at the beginning. See, that looks a bit better, just a little bit. But we don't make mistakes. We learn how to work with them. A mistake is something that is just there and you don't know what to do with it. We work with it and we make it look like it was meant to be. We make it look like it was on purpose. Okay? So just lightly, just ever so lightly. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the chat. I'll be glad to respond to them. But notice how I left a little mist at the bottom, just so it looks a bit more farther away. Just loading up my 2-inch brush. Same 2-inch brush I use for the water and all that good stuff. A little bit of sap green. Just load up your brush, both sides. I'm gonna go back to wet on wet. I'm not gonna go too much in detail with shadows and all that type of stuff. Although we could still do that. I just prefer for today to make it simple. Next week though, I should have a video up rather than a live stream. And I should be able to do things that I do in videos compared to live streams, like be ready and all that good stuff. Okay? Just a little bit, because now the grass is going to come this way. There. Just tapping on some highlights. There we go. You decide where the light would hit and all that good stuff. Okay? Now, very lightly, a little bit of that grass reflection would show. Very little. Because grass, it's not that long, so you would barely see a little bit. But just to keep the reflections going, I'm gonna pull down the slightest touch. What you would see more is like mountains and all that type of stuff. Right there, you do see bigger reflections. Let me clean my brush. I have paint thinner here to the side. I have a bucket screen paint thinner. And usually I wouldn't recommend paint thinner, but it works so good. And I'm working outdoors, so that outdoors helps to kind of with the, how can I say it, with what you breathe in, because paint thinner is not the healthiest and it could cause cancer if you breathe in too much. Okay, just really beat the brush until it's dry. You don't want paint thinner on here. And very lightly, very, very lightly, go across. There we go. Now, let's go ahead. I'm going to go into some ivory black and some dark sienna. Just a mixture of the two. Maybe a little bit of light. Just something like so. It's still pretty dark. Okay? We're going back to wet on wet style of painting. What do you guys prefer? The pure wet on wet style of painting or the somewhat advanced type painting? Who is my favorite artist? Um that's a tough question. I haven't really thought about it. I watched a lot of Bill Alexander. I thought he was a great inspiration and I looked up to him when I first started because Bob Ross was a little bit more just fast paced and just show rather than painting. And I think if I had to answer that, probably Bill Alexander because I like that. But then I also inspired by Andrew Tischler. I really like his channel. I check it out time to time, see what I can learn, what I can take back, and put it into my own paintings to try to improve myself. So probably Bill Alexander and Andrew Tischler if I had to answer that question. Hopefully I answered your question how you're hoping. Um, but yeah, really good question. I never been asked that. Bob Ross, don't get me wrong, great on TV and all that, but as a painter, he painted great, but it was quick, and I would try, but he was too fast. He was just a bit too fast for me. Okay, just going into some titanium white. Get that nice little roll of paint on the edge of your knife, just like so. Let's come up here, and then just tap. Okay, just a few little dooders. We'll fix them up right now in a bit. Let me check this out. Guess everyone's busy today, but it's better because it could be like a one-on-one class. If you have any questions, I can answer them. So feel free. Just a few little water lines, just by tapping. Okay. What I like to do is just come back here, just rub them into the canvas. Just rub. Just to make them look a bit thinner. There. You can leave them on pretty thick, but I honestly prefer them to look thin on my paintings. There we go. How does that look? I'm starting to like the way it's turning out. Okay. What I'm going to do, let's add a bridge just so like someone could come out here and go fishing if they wanted to. So I'm gonna grab some of our dark color that we use for the base dirt and just angle it Just angle. Lightly, lightly. Very, very lightly. Well, it doesn't matter how much pressure really. Because right now all we're doing is just blocking in the shape. I feel like I'm gonna cover up the base, so I'm not too worried about it. Um, yeah. Draw Mix Paint. I haven't heard of that channel. I'm gonna check it out. See if I like it. Most likely I will. I always like to visit art channels just to sort of see, even if they're, if I could say I'm better, but I still like to watch them because I can take things maybe they thought of that I wouldn't have. So yeah, I'll check that channel out. Thank you for the suggestion. Just a little guardrail, just lightly. We gotta highlight this little bridge somewhere where someone can pass by, go fishing. Very lightly, very, very lightly. Now, what you can do, grab that 2 inch and lightly reflect. You could see more of this because they're a bit longer and you'd probably see more of it. Let me wipe off my palette knife. So some titanium white and just block in some water lines and we can always thin them out just by rubbing. Rub it. Just rub it. Okay. Now, any other questions, comments, concerns? Not yet? Okay, we're good. We're good. So, a little bit of ivory black. Pull it through the brush. And let's bring it out to here. Okay? Let me roll up my sleeve a bit. Okay? And I actually want the leaves on this tree to go upwards. So you just aim the handle brush upwards and you just push the bristles up. It's pretty simple, not that hard. Might be a little weird the first time when you do it if you're so used to one way, but after you get the hang of it a bit, it'll be second nature. You'll be able to do it on your sleeve. Some leaves get bigger. Okay. You know what? Let's bring some grass out here. Maybe there would be another tree right here. Just to kind of cover up the fact that the bridge or whatever it is whatever it is, and I'm the painter. But just to cover up the fact that it doesn't go all the way. They're nice little tricks that you can do to get around it. Yeah, we can probably put in an eagle on the tree. I never tried it after such long, um, so much paintings and all that. I've never tried putting a an eagle on my trees, but I'll give it a shot. See what's up with that. Just a little bit of liquid white just to make it stick on a bit better. Just slightly. Shocker, right? After 2 years or so, I haven't painted an eagle. I painted probably like 2 years before I started YouTube, 2 3 years. I started YouTube and I still haven't painted any. Like the most I've got into that was a bird in the sky, but those are simple. It's just like a simple V. Shoot, if you tell me to paint a bald eagle up close, oh, we'll be here probably like a whole day. I'm not good at portraits and all that. I mean, if I wanted to, I can probably do it, but oh god, it's I just have to study it and practice it. A little dark there, just like if some light shows up. Let me fill this in there, something like so. Let me check the comments. Okay, now let's put in another tree. How does that sound? I feel like this kind of like a like forest, but you're at the river. The river's forest. That might be called. That might be the name for this painting. Shoot, just right on the edge of that. Okay, just the corner of the brush. The corner. Okay. Just little by little. Gotta be patient with painting. Helps you build your patience. And helps test it too. Okay. Some cadmium yellow. Okay. Just slightly. Load up your brush full with paint. There we go. There. Just a big ol' evergreen monster tree. Maybe we'll reflect some of that down into the water. I think we would see a bit more a cause of that tree. I'm gonna try to go for that bald eagle. I'm really interested in doing that. I think that would be cool. But I'm also gonna add a bird in the distance. Now you got me committed to do it. Okay. We're gonna go into some dark sienna. Let's put in a good old stick. You can do a whole painting with, I would suggest, 3 brushes. either a fan brush, a filbert brush, or a 1-inch brush. You could do a start to finish if you really wanted to. I think those brushes are the best. There. So let's go to our tree. Let's show that there's a tree trunk just to make it look like more stable. It's gonna need it. There. Just just a few. Okay. Let me fix the highlights and all that good stuff. I like doing little challenges. Helps me build and learn and all that. So let's go into a little bit of paint in there. We'll go into a little bit of brown type color. Just thin it out as thin as you can get it. I'm gonna do a distant bird to start off. That's the most I've done when it comes to animals. I've probably done a bear or two, but like it takes me forever. Okay, no pressure. Thank you. Well, it's basically just a silhouette. I'm not gonna get too detailed, so that's a little help. Let's come up here, come out, just like so. Add a little bit of brown in there. Okay. Maybe the wing would be somewhere there. Somewhere there. Somewhere over there, I meant to say. Let me wash my brush. Let me dry it. Now, for white, I'm going to go straight liquid white. I think that's the best alternative as of now. So just pure white. It's full of paint. Can we get that to show? There we go. Now, let's go over here. But it is a nice addition to the painting. I think it will add on perfectly. Just a little feathers would come through to the brown. I'm trying to remember how I would picture it. And a little bit of, sorry about that, a little bit of cadmium yellow and liquid white, both to thin it and to make it a bit lighter. Let's put its little beak on. Kind of curve it a bit. And you would see like a foot or two. There. How does that look? I mean, for the first time, I'm not disappointed. I'm going to some brown, some yellow. Try to make like a grayish color for the white. and just lightly, and some highlights for the brown. Really, okay. Maybe it has a little touch of highlight in the front. I gotta. I feel like the beak could be a bit better. Hold on, give me 1 second. Oh yeah, that gold color looks better. Okay, I think I'm done with that eagle. I don't want to mess with it a bit more because I feel like it's just gonna go downhill if I start messing with it more. I gotta watch videos and practice it over and over before I can say I'm good at it. Here, let me zoom in a bit for you. There's that little eagle on the side of the tree. Okay, just adjusting the camera again. Let me go back to the group chat. Just like an almond shape, the white spot on the head. Yep, no detail, just yeah. I'm not. Oh, I wouldn't consider myself the best at painting animals, but for what it is, I'm not disappointed. You know what? Actually, I'm going to put in a little pebble before, unless you guys want to add more suggestions, but little pebble in the water. Okay, maybe another little pebble. Maybe so that eagle could come and wait for the fish. Once it sees a little fish, boom, goes for its food. All right, well, I'm gonna check the comments. If you guys have any suggestions, feel free to leave them. If not, I'll end it pretty soon since I've been pretty busy and I gotta take care of other things. But I'll stay if you guys want some suggestions. Oh, the Fisherman. That's a nice name. Sorry, my palette glare. I actually like that name, the Fisherman. That is a great name. Thank you, Mark, for that name. It's always I go back to like 3, 4 people, and I tell them, okay, here are the last three name options. What do you guys want to pick? And majority votes, and that's the name. But I don't like to feel like I'm the selfish one and just puts a name. So I like to hear other people out and put names based on that. Let me lower this a bit. There. Now that I'm not in frame. Okay. Well, if that's it for today, not too many people joined. I think two at most. So let me go up here. I like to thank each and every one of you for joining me today. It was fun. I like that challenge, Mark. Thank you. Don't mean to call you out. I like that challenge of the eagle. I think it looks better on the painting. than if I didn't. I wouldn't have thought about it. I wouldn't have even tried. But I thank you for it, and I'd like to thank each and every one of you for your support and for joining me or watching the video later on tonight or tomorrow or whenever you see it. I'd like to thank each and every one of you and stay creative. And I'll see you in the next either video or live stream. Till then, take care.